Hi guys, I'm Rachel. I'm a Girl Scout ambassador, and today we're going to be doing the Democracy for Ambassadors badge. This is a brand new badge that just came out this summer, and I'm so excited to start it. So for this first part of the badge, we take a dive into local government. And the way I did it with all of the COVID restrictions is I actually found a recording of a local meeting, the Newcastle County Council meeting, online. It happened on October 13th, so I thought it was pretty recent, and the next meeting isn't until after I'm recording this. So I watched the meeting, and basically this is a layout of how it happened. So the president had someone call roll, and everyone was present, which was really good. Nice turnout. And then each of the subgroups in the council had to report to the president what happened in recent meetings of that subgroup. So step 2 is the 3 branches of government. We're taking a big leap into the 3 branches of government where we discuss what they do, how they do it, why they do it, and how they equal each other out. In the United States government, there are 3 branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. So each of the 3 branches of government have separate jobs. The legislative makes laws, the executive enforces the laws, and the judicial evaluates the laws, so makes sure that they're good. So we have examples of each of them. So in the legislative that makes laws, there's the Congress, and under the Congress is the Senate and the House of Representatives. And then in the executive, we have the president, and then further down we have the vice president, and then we have the cabinet. And then for the judicial that evaluates laws, we have the Supreme Court and other federal courts. So for the 3 branches of government, there's a system of checks and balances that makes sure that none of the 3 branches have too much power. For example, the legislative branch makes laws, but the president or the executive branch can veto laws, and the judicial branch can declare a law unconstitutional. So step 3 is to write a letter to a federal senator about an issue that's important to you. So this is what I did. I wrote a letter to a senator, and it was about latex gloves in the food industry. So when people in the food industry who are working handle latex gloves and put them on to make your food, sometimes particles will get onto the food, and then people with a latex allergy, if they eat it, they can get really sick. So to combat that, I thought that we could ban latex gloves in the food industry when they're being used to prepare food. Okay, step 4 is to encourage voting, and we're going to look at Delaware, the state I live in's, turnout rates for voting. So in 2016 in Delaware, the voter registration rate was 86.99% compared to the national average of 84.18%. So that was actually more than the national average. And then the turnout rate was 64.61%, which is a little bit higher, 3% higher than the national average, which is 61.64%. Lots of things can help our voting participation. So for example, for the younger voters who are more active on social medias, something that's already happening for the 2020 election is social media sites will have little pop-up things at the top where it says, "Come register to vote. We want you to vote," that type of thing. And when you click on it, it'll take you to a place where you can register to vote. And I think that definitely will help bring out the younger generation. So the next step is going to be discussing with a family member about if they vote and why they vote. So I talked with my mom, and she told me that she does vote, and that why she votes is because she feels that if she did not vote, it would be disrespectful to all of the women who paved the way for her to have the right to vote. So now we're on to step 5, which is judge a justice. And the first part of this step is to find a Supreme Court ruling that's important. So I decided on Brown versus the Board of Education. Okay, so how did we get to the Supreme Court? We started at very local cases throughout many states, and then the NAACP pulled some of those cases from different states into one big case, including 2 cases from Delaware, and they presented that one big case to the Supreme Court. So what was Brown versus the Board of Education really all about? It was about turning over the separate but equal doctrine. So basically, they segregated the students, but they were saying that both of the schools were equal, when in reality, they weren't equal. The students there were not getting the same education. So, in this case, they were trying to make sure that all students got the same education and that it was actually equal. So what was the verdict? The Supreme Court ruled unanimously that separate but equal had no place in public education. Justice Warren wrote that in the field of public education, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place, as segregated schools are inherently unequal. As a result, the court ruled that the plaintiffs were being deprived of the equal protection of the laws guaranteed by the 14th Amendment. Thank you guys for joining me while I did this badge. I hope you had a fun time.